So, I'm beginning to muse on what my 2015 Goodreads challenge should look like. I'm ahead on my 2014 challenge right now, which might indicate that I should up next year's numbers so it's more of a challenge, but a good chunk of the reason I'm ahead is that I was sick so much this year and so spent a lot more time reading. And I definitely am hoping to not spend as much time next year sick, so perhaps I shouldn't up the number? I don't know, I guess I got a couple months to figure this out. Anyway, today we're going to talk about the science fiction, historical romance, and nonfiction books I read in the good old month of October. The Last Renegade by Joe Goodman, the first book in the Bitter Springs Old West romance series. I read this series out of order for some reason. I started with book 3, which I really liked, so I went back to book 1 and am going to go from there. I liked this one too. I'm usually hit or miss on books set in the Old West, but this is a series that's very much up my alley. In this one, a man gets stabbed on a train. He's on his way to answer an ad for a shootist to protect the town. He passes on his duty before he dies to our lead character, Kellen Coltrane. I loved Kellen. I've been getting really tired of the over macho, I won't take no for an answer doofus bags that a lot of romance authors think that we want in our male leads. Kellen was respectful, easygoing, and all around a more interesting take on the male lead than we often get, so thumbs up from me. Catspaw by Joan D. Vinge. This is science fiction written in the 80s. It's the second book in her Cat series. This was super weird. The first book, if you were to classify it in modern literary terms, was solidly in the YA young adult genre, and then this second book goes really adult. I don't know, I loved the first book in the series. It was dark but not depressing. This book was definitely depressing. The outside loner, not appreciated hero is a time-honored literary trope, but this one takes it too far. There's only so much you can see your hero get beaten down without really any redemption before you're just discouraged about the world. And the next book in the series has a much lower rating on Goodreads, so I just don't think I'm gonna finish this series, which is sad because I really like Joan D. Vinge's Snow Queen. So I think I'm just gonna read more on that series instead of finishing this one. I was recently diagnosed with a chronic illness, and it's a really difficult mind shift to have to make. You kind of take feeling well and healthy for granted when you're not sick. And the thing with a chronic condition is that you're now permanently sick. And while you can always feel better, you're never gonna be well again. And that's a difficult mental change. So this book was recommended to me by other people in the chronic sickness community. It's not long, but it's got a lot of good stuff packed in there. Toni Bernard's condition is much worse than mine. She's bedbound and can actually only write a couple minutes a day. So just the existence of this book is pretty impressive. The book itself has some great mental techniques for dealing with the mental stress of being sick. Some of them sound kind of silly, but they actually work. There's one exercise in here where you separate yourself from the sickness by thinking, there is sickness here, but I am not sick. Which sounds, again, kind of silly, but deals with the fact that your identity can become so entwined with the illness, and you need to step back and realize that there is a you other than the title of sick person, that while there is sickness here, you are not defined by that sickness. I don't know, some reason it works. If you or anyone else you know suffers from a chronic condition, it's a good and helpful read. Okay, I can't get over how different the second book in the Cat series was from the first. Have you ever read a sequel that's nothing like the first book? What the heck is going on there?